Good morning, and I can't follow that. What can I say? Um, I can't follow uh, Brian's live stream. I don't have that. I do have some very important stuff for you, but I just can't follow that. That was something else. We'll get some little comments here while the room starts to build up a little bit. How's that? Timmy Dog, yes, please stop filming from the rails and Phillies, Kokomo's, Tequila Reeve. None of these people being filmed ever gave their permission. And yeah, you know something, Timmy? That's part of what we're going to talk about. Street Freak says he was joking. Okay. Good morning, Street Freak. Timmy, I hope you're here. Good morning, Mike and Arlen from San Francisco. Not the Fed. McLovin. Oh my gosh. Street Freak, how on earth can people seek the truth? Street Freak, well said, Bookham. Dano says, yeah, I'll be interested. I hope you show up for breakfast Tuesday, Dano. I want to talk to you about this. Exposing the truth is so evil, isn't it? I guess so. Brian's analytics is off the charts after reposting video clicks. Money, money, money. You don't get much on a live stream. A live stream doesn't reimburse, doesn't pay like a long form video format. But the super chats and stickers and things, they make a big difference. That's really what happens. But yeah, he's going to get some good stuff in there. James Gilbert, morning, Mike and everyone. Good morning, James. Beautiful day in the neighborhood up the barangay. It was not for overstay immigration. He would go to trial, but they decided to blacklist him. Well, you know what, Damo? I'm going to cover something about that too, because that's a very similar playbook. It's there for a reason. They go to immigration. The idea is to get them in immigration first, but we'll get to it. Good morning, good evening, good morning, Lynn. How are you? Nice to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Ricky USA in the house. Thank you, Ricky. Oh, D Webb is in. What is up, D Webb? Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Bob Kirkman, thank you, thank you, thank you. David, long day. David, Zen. I'm glad. Hope you and the missus are doing well. Bacon sandwich is good. If someone moves there to just live a retired life and not film every detail, do they still find it? Sure, they find a nice, quiet life. Of course they do. Philippines traveler, good morning from Valencia. A lot of news last week. Yeah, we definitely have been hearing it now. Philippines traveler, Asia Now. Yeah, I like Asia Now. He has a little iffy past, but yeah. Morning, Mike. Tim Deziak. Cliff Turner's here. Tim Deziak's here. McLovin is here. Philippines Travel is here. Billy Bob. Good morning. Tequila Reef for breakfast. What's going on, Billy Bob? Good morning, Bob Kirkman. Bookham, always a pleasure. They use the overstay to get him in custody. Exactly. And here's the deal. Once he's in immigration hold, all right, they can't deport him if he has charges. But we'll get to that. Well, it looks like a British expat in the Philippines. Norman Childs is here. Big John. Phoenix expat prepper. Brian's live was good. It was eye-opening, that's for sure. John Allen. No man. A man with no name. The overabundance of vloggers are effing you over. Can't people survive without vlogging? Indeed. GD. Michael Atos, thanks for dropping in. Okay. All right, folks, let's get to the actual subject matter here. Okay. Let's actually get to that. That's gonna, then we'll have a panel, we'll do everything, but I want to go through some other stuff. Okay. What is it, the law that people break, vloggers are breaking on a routine basis? Laws and ordinances. Okay. And this is nothing new. It has nothing to do with blurring faces or children or anything like that. All right. It has nothing to do with that. And it is simply this: in almost every city, including Angeles City, all right, you have to have a permit to film in public with commercial products. Okay. So let's take first off, let's talk about the basis, commercial products. All right. So, how does the Oxford Dictionary define a commercial product? It's a product that can make money. That's the definition out of the Oxford Dictionary. Okay. How about the Philippines? How are they defining it? Well, the key aspects of defining a commercial product, according to the Philippines, is its intent for sale or trade, products for sale, lease, exchange, or distribution in commerce, whether physically or by the internet. All right. And then, in essence, if it's being traded, sold, used for profit, or meets consumer safety standards in the Philippines, it's commercial product. It doesn't have to be all of those. It's any one of those. It becomes a commercial product. All right. So that's the first issue. So if you are a YouTuber and you become monetized, is it a commercial product? If you accept PayPal, buy me a coffee, if you receive revenue just by virtue of it, is it a commercial product? The answer is yes, it is, by the strictest legal term. All right. But, we're going to get into that. So, what does YouTube and what does the US say? Well, it says when you monetize your YouTube channel, it effectively becomes a commercial product or business activity because you're generating income. Remember, you're generating income from ad revenue, which is by watch time. You're generating revenue possibly by members only areas. All right. So let's just say you do a video and you don't monetize that video, but you put it in your members only section. Well, that became monetized. That is a monetized product. All right. Let's say you've got TikTok. Let's say you've got Instagram. Let's say you monetized somehow on Facebook. Or better yet, let's say you're on the darker side. All right. What about Telegram? There are people that put together Angeles City stuff and they monetize a subscription for it in Telegram. All right. Anything like that. And so that is, the bottom line. So what happens next? Well, the first thing is that in considerations, because now we're going to talk about your concern. You're telling us, well, you know what? If you're in public, you have no right to privacy. Well, that's bullshit in the Philippines, and it's actually bullshit in the United States. Now, I don't know about the laws in the UK and Australia and Europe. All right. In fact, I know the European laws are quite strict, but no, that is not true. It is not wholly true. Okay. But in the Philippines, Public and this comes straight out of their Republic Acts. Public or commercial use of a video, if a video is published, distributed, or monetized, it crosses the boundary of personal use and may violate laws protecting privacy and personal data. You bet. You bet it does. So don't think otherwise. All right. And then, in return, you've got these issues of, can you get civilly attached on that? In other words, can they go after you on a civil situation? And in the Philippines, Article 287, unjust vexation. Taking a video without consent may be considered unjust vexation if it causes annoyance or distress. So you put yourself at that risk. But, we're going to be talking more about what happens when you end up on the Philippines shit list. If you're a vlogger, a creator, a YouTuber, whether it's YouTube, whether it's TikTok, whether it's whatever, the Philippines is looking at that stuff hard. The Philippines is going to continue to look at it, and they are no longer going to sit around and just accept the bullshit. They're not going to do it anymore. All right. They're not going to allow you to just ruin their tourism, because tourism means a lot of money. Expats mean a lot of money. And I don't, I go back to the comments that people make in the past about, hey, you know what? I lost my train of thought. Unjust vexation. Equally applied against the law. There's nothing that says the Philippines has to equally apply it against the law. There's nothing that says they have to equally apply it. You could have two guys walking down the same street, one on one side of the street, one on the other. The one guy's walking down the street talking about the cultural history, the architecture, the people, the culture, etc. The other guy's walking down the street talking about, oh, you know what? This is garbage. This is trash. This is this. This is that. And that can be in any country. With that being said, the Philippines isn't going to go after both of those people. The Philippines is going to say, we need to watch this guy. We need to watch what he has to say. All right. Michael Ata is saying hello to Norm. After the video of Scotty Boy, I had a craving for milk. McLovin. Funny. Made it back and staying at the palace. Oh, okay, John. Great. Maybe I'll run into you. We're here. That's for sure. LG, haven't seen you in a while. He's not getting deported. Feds, tax, revenue. Okay, so let me describe to you something here. I want you to see the playbook that the Philippines is using. And I don't feel bad about saying this because it's obvious. All right. First, they're going to detain you based on an immigration basis, whether it's an investigation, whether it's this, whether it's that. They're going to detain you because of X. They're going to even say they're going to deport you. That's exactly what they did with Vitali. It's exactly what they're doing with pro-life. Then, only then, are they going to file charges. Now, there may be charges on pro-life already out there from a civil point of view that we're not aware of. But here's what happens. Once there are charges, so let's just say pro-life has to pay taxes before he can get deported. Okay, he pays his taxes. He's ready to get deported. No, Soon as you have charges on you, you don't get deported. You're now on hold and you don't get to bail out because that's the last thing they want to do. Let's say that all the charges that they have against a person, whether it's ProLife, whether it's Vitality, all right, all of those charges, they were all bailable. And pro-life's may be bailable. I don't know. I don't know what the charges are, if any. But if they're bailable, then you get to sit at home and do everything you need to do and continue on your life until you get your day in court, which can take years. All right? But no, the Philippines has a different playbook. Oh, you're an immigration hold. You're due for deportation. And until you get your charges settled, you're going to stay in immigration hold, all right, at Bicutan. You're going to stay there until those charges are settled. That's what happened with Vitality. Vitality's never been to jail. He's been in immigration hold at Bicutan since they held him. All while the charges were getting taken care of. And that is what's going on with these people. I don't know how else to just describe it. I really don't. Most people don't check countries' laws. They just grab a camera, go to town. Same rabbit holes, restaurateurs, vloggers, residents know better, in my opinion. You know what? I don't disagree with you, Will. I just think a lot of people just think whatever. Someone might want to tell Ace Barstool Fool to watch this. I've never seen him being disrespectful. I don't watch a lot of his videos unless he's like his top 10 fucktard list that I made it on. But I tune in once in a while and when I have time. This is a valid point, Will. Nobody checks visitor visa conditions. Ugly Tourist made it in here. Hey, James. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. Ugly Tourist has a channel. Him, his partner, his wife, Ding, sweet young lady. They just had a baby, little Samurai. You're not allowed to make money in the Philippines while on a visitor visa. I'm not going to go down that legal rabbit hole, street freak, because that's not, you know what? I'm not a lawyer, and I'm telling all of you right now I'm not a lawyer, but that's a legal hole. There are different legal opinions even on that. So what does the designation promoted by YouTube mean? Does it mean that the channel owner paid to promote certain videos? You know what, Hector? I've never seen that. Maybe that's a video that someone uses YouTube promotions to promote. All right. A lot of vloggers are doing that now. A ton of them, they pay YouTube to promote them. Maybe that's what it is. Norman, what about being monetized but don't register a bank account? Therefore, you physically not receive revenue. It enables. But no, Norman, you're wrong. You are getting it. And let me tell you what's going to happen. All right. So let's say they want you. Let's say they're pissed. Let's say they want to get you. They're going to subpoena YouTube for anything and everything. And then they're going to subpoena Google Ads. All right. They're going to go on your channel. You've got PayPal, buy me a coffee, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're going to get that information. All right. You did get that revenue. It went into your bank account. Just because it went into your bank account in another country, they don't care. They could care less. All right. You are creating a product that's receiving revenue. Period. End of story. Michael, I don't know what your hashtags are all about, but I don't like them. Stevie, Norman, you can't get out of it. Your income is taxed, so it's considered income. It doesn't even matter if it's taxed. Okay? You could have your channel in a corporate entity. All right? And the corporation could have more expenses than it has revenue, and it isn't taxed. You generated revenue. It has nothing to do with personal income. Unjust vexation. Yeah, very low bar to file a complaint. It is. And unlike the YouTube experts that are out there, and I'm one of them, of which I'm not an expert at anything. I am not an expert at anything. But the individual doesn't have to file the vexation charge. It can be filed by somebody else. Okay? The LGU can file it. Excellent breakdown, Bookham. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dana. Michael, I don't like it. True, they could throw the book at PLT like so many other vloggers out there. They could, and they may. They absolutely may. We don't know yet, but what I'm saying is that is the new playbook of the Philippines. And when I say new, that's what's recently happened in the past year and a half. Okay? So, McLovin, am I here? Yeah, you're there. Michael, my cat's sitting on the keys. Okay. Now that I can accept. I can certainly accept. So you see what I'm saying here is that once you accept a dime for creating content on any platform, not just YouTube, any platform, you have now created a commercial product. So I went through and I looked up before this morning, all right, Quezon City, all right, Makati, Davao, Cebu, Angeles City, all right, and I think I looked at a couple of others. All of them require a permit to film a commercial product in public. Period. End of story. You have to get a permit. Now, is it enforced? Well, there's 1,000 vloggers that'll show no, it's not. All right. But could it be enforced? Are you willing to go on that list? Are you a vlogger that does walk and talks and you're showing a side of the Philippines that the government doesn't like? They're going to take a look at that. And if you're, we in business, all right, it's called PIA, pain in the ass. How much of a pain in the ass is that business proposal? How much is that client? How much of a pain in the ass they are? In medicine, we call it a patient risk assessment. All right. Is the risk assessment is the cure, is the damage to the cure more than the cure is worth. All right. The Philippines is going to look at the same thing. I want tourism. I get a ton of free public, PR, but this particular YouTuber, this particular TikToker, this particular this or this particular that, they're a pain in the ass. You know what? We're going after him. People like say Scott Finn Snow. Finn Snow. All right? Tremendous big public PR bonus to the Philippines. Okay? So disrespecting the Philippines, talking bad. I mean, you know what? I don't understand expats. you're coming to a developing country, it's going to have problems, period. And you're leaving a country that has problems. All right? America has problems, period. Bitching about it and disrespecting them, I don't know. Big Man and Jimbo also need looking at. I don't watch either one of them. Street Geek, I'm not monetized. No, but Norman, you have a PayPal on there. You don't have to be monetized. If you have a PayPal and you're advertising that PayPal, Norman, and I don't mean this because of our relationship, you have a PayPal, you are now a commercial product. People can say, I'm sending this to help support you. This is a donation for you. That is now commercialized. And I thought your channel got commercial monetized. I thought you were monetized now, John. Will, thank God I have ample retirement and don't need any extra income from side hustles. Foreigners are an easy target. They can be, that's for sure. These YouTubers that sell consulting services also illegal. Yes, indeed. And then, you know what, Phil? It's sort of kind of 90% you're correct. But you got to remember, some of those guys are 13A visa holders. We can do that. If we have a 13A visa, so if you have a tourist visa, you're not allowed to even get a work permit, a work visa. All right. You have to apply for a work visa. There's a whole rigmarole, whole 9 yards. And somebody on a tourist visa is not going to get one. Number two, all right, you've got the SRRVs. They don't need a work visa. Now they have to have what's called a EAP, employment, something or another. They have to have something that's very easy to get, very simple, very easy to get. Then you have people like me. I'm a 13A permanent resident, and I don't need anything. Now, there are jobs I cannot take, all right? I cannot fill as a 13A. As a 13A, I cannot, unless I pass the professional certification, because all doctors, lawyers, engineers, etc., they have to register with this professional certification board. I can't fill one of those jobs, even if I'm qualified in another country. All right. Because I can't even take those boards. Number one. Number two, I can't take certain jobs. I can't be employed in certain governmental jobs. All right. But other than that, 13A, I could do consulting all I want. Street freak. All because of John going after Americans. Book them. We are exempted. Don't vlog. LOL. Yeah, that's really the easiest way. Or you can vlog all you want. Vlog all you want. Don't go shy away from vlogging. Just don't monetize. Don't try and make money. Man with no name. I know 3 Americans that got turned off to moving to Dumaguete because of the unnamed vloggers. You can guess who. One stayed in the U.S., one lives in my building, and one lives in Makati with his wife. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure either way. I do understand what you're saying, though. Philippines traveler, what about the garbage issue in the Philippines? Why don't they address that issue and clean up the rivers and the coastline of this? It's sad to see this daily here. So many issues need to be addressed. Well, on the first hand, Philippines travel, I would agree it's something they need to do. And I would argue that in some areas it has been addressed. Like, if you've been around, Boracay is radically different than it was 10 years ago. Okay? They shut that whole island down for a year. They shut down, entire resorts because of septic issues to make them fix it. They cleaned, they scraped, they did everything. They went out into the ocean, cleaned everything up, and they have kept it that way. And I am sure that there are other areas that are well kept. All right. But like any developing country, all right, it's got problems. Bob Kirkman says U.S. servicemen used to get put on international hold just to stay in the Philippines. Oh, like Barry Jordan, 1,000 days locked up. Yeah, I don't follow the Barry Jordan bullshit, but yeah. Street Freak, garbage does let the Philippines down. When many Filipinos say they're proud of their country, it makes me wonder if this includes being proud. Why wouldn't they be proud of their country? Okay? You know what? If it's a life that you've always had, if it is what you and only what you know, then there's nothing wrong with it to you. So I understand why they say they're proud of their country. Is immigration hold better accommodations than a jail holding cell, or is better than a hold stay? Well, all right, so Michael, you've got jail, you've got immigration hold, all right, and you've got prison. Big difference. So jail is local type stuff, all right? You know, even sick grandpa spent a night in jail down in Bohol. He's got a story about that. Immigration hold is Bikutan, and it is much better than prison. At immigration hold, you're in with a lot of expats. In prison, you are a fractional minority here. Okay? I can tell you, Arlene has a friend who had a brother who was in the wrong place at the wrong time and ended up in a jail. All right. A very, very big Manila Makati jail. And they would bring him food while he was waiting for everything. And she would tell me of the conditions and everything they went through. And if jail is that bad, the last thing I want is to be in prison. Okay? So my point with what we've been going through, though, is that all of these bloggers that do walk and talks, all of these bloggers that are out doing all kinds of stuff, guess what? If you're monetized, technically, by the technical lay of the law, all right, you need a permit in many, many cities. And Angeles is one of them. Walking around in Angeles City, walk and talk, and you're monetized and you're putting it out there, you're breaking the law. What? Oh, Arlene said that's too bad. She was going to start doing walk and talks today. Yeah, bullshit. You can't see Arlene. There's a green screen up behind me, which shows you my virtual bar. And Arlene is doing her morning work, weights and treadmill and everything behind me. You can't see her. So, Street Freak, they have so many people needing work, hire them. But no, they need money to pay them. Okay? I mean, that's the bottom line. Doc, can you speak to the Phil's anti-voyeurism and sexual exploitation laws? Some vloggers zoom in. Oh, yeah. All right. So I get a big kick out of this, Hector. I really do. It's a violation to a certain extent. All right. If you zoom in on women, is it a violation? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but it does bring up something. You know, I was watching It's My Life the other day. All right. Although I think I'm banned over there. Leon is being told there's a new law on Red Street, Walking Street, that says no videos, no do it. And he, of course, in his normal argumentative, you know what, in his inquisitive way, says, show me the ordinance, show me the law. So they take him to the police station. While he's doing that, he puts up this thing saying, and he tells them, look, I just walk up here. I don't focus on the girls. I don't do this. I don't focus on them or that. Well, you know something? Bullshit. That's a lie. What you do is you take a large video going up and down the street, and then you slice and dice it into individual girly shots on shorts. And if you people don't believe me, now he's been pulling down a lot of his data, but if you don't believe me, go to his channel and look at his shorts. He'll tell you. But if you're earning money, it's the same thing, Hector. Street Freak. My thoughts too. There could be many young kids making money picking up payable trash. Somebody's Street Freak. Are you going to give them the money to pay the kids? All right. When the average wage is 550 pesos a day reported, that's what the Philippine government reports. All right. It's surprisingly lower in the provinces. Okay. Where are you going to get the money to pay these kids? Like 5 pesos per 5 kilograms. Well, we see kids going through trash to get recycled all the time. You won't find much plastics out around. People pick that stuff up. You'll see a lot of paper and crap. Yeah. Bookham Deno. Yes, you can make money on YouTube as a tourist in the Philippines by creating travel content, but you must meet YouTube's partner program requirements. 1K, 4K watch hours, 3 minutes. Yeah, you can do it. You can make money on YouTube, but once you do, it's a commercial product. That's what YouTube says. I mean, this comes directly from YouTube. Yes, when you monetize your YouTube channel, it effectively becomes a commercial product. All right, so now that's a commercial product. And once it's a commercial product, all right, then you're subject to those laws. No activities while on tourist towards working for money is not allowed. You know what, Street Freak, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I believe that there are, including making you. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. Slick Rick, everyone, please don't forget. Thank you, Slick Rick. Did you see another streamer was arrested yesterday, according to Atos, is supposedly Johnny Somalia's sidekick? Are you talking about Hank, his buddy Hank? If so, no, I did not see it. I quit watching him. That being said, even if you file unjust vexation, the prosecutor has to accept the complaint for charges. Yeah, and Prepper is correct. All right, you can file the charge. It goes to the prosecutor. The prosecutor does their little preliminary investigation. All right, and if they don't want to take it, they don't. It's up to the prosecutor to actually prosecute and fulfill that. Okay? Now, I'm going to put the link up here for folks that want to maybe have a discussion about this. Remember our rules. Okay, so remember our rules. You got to show your face. We don't want, I'm not talking about other vloggers' wives, partners, or children. Those are the 3 fundamental rules. You get out of hand, I'll just silence you. Okay? LOL, no matter where you are, there you are. Exactly. Bacon sandwich. They do the work around. They do the work around and put everything in the girlfriend or wife's name, and they make the content. This way, they're not technically making money on the channel. I don't know. Almost all of the YouTubers I know, their accounts are set up in their home country, but it happens. 13A, yep, absolutely. Ugly Tourist should be getting his pretty soon. You should be making your application. I don't know how that works. I don't remember how that works. How long you have to be married or something like that. Bacon, including the new Phoenix house, and later they say bye-bye to that. It happens. Mike, on a 13A visa, you are not allowed to fill a ladyboy job on Walking Street. And that's a shame, Michael. That's a shame. You don't know how bad I want that. Good morning, Philly in the Philippines dropping by. I guess he had his breakfast. That was a great, awesome live. For those of you that missed it, Brian pulled out all the stops and exposed Scotty Boy's antics on Walking Street, on Fields Ave. I'm shocked. Let me just tell you, you need to go to Brian's for as long as that video is going to stay up and see exactly what happened. So LG, so cut to the chase. Are you going to continue to live stream? I'm guessing yes, because your channel's information. Yeah, I'm going to continue to live stream, and I'm going to do most of my content right here where I always have. I will do stuff out in public, and keep in mind, in public, what is in public? Well, in public means in public. It doesn't mean if I'm sitting at Tequila Reef. That's in private. Tequila Reef is private. Malls, stores, if you have their permission, that's private. But public is totally different. Chelsea says, good morning, Chelsea. Don't blog and abuse women, period. Yeah, and you shouldn't abuse women or blog about, period. Bob, people saying hello. No, I'm not wrong. PLT is a pervert. I don't know, Jan. Jana, I don't know. I do know this. There are supposedly charges pending. I believe there's much more yet to come. I will be surprised if he gets deported expediently. Philippines travel. This is a developing country. I have no dog in this fight. We came to retire, enjoy the people and the culture. Yeah, Dano's exactly correct. And for you to have any entitled expectations other than that, you're just barking up the wrong tree. Some of these vloggers think showing the rubbish in the streets and the slums gets them views, which is true. But look, some of the parts of the Philippines, you know what? Chelsea's correct. 100% correct. All right? There are incredible places. And where you go, I was so surprised at how clean, all right, Bohol was. We drove from one end of that island to the other, how clean it was, everything else. It's not the same everywhere, folks. It's not. All right. I don't know how, and Chelsea's again correct. Every country is. Every country. Bill, let's see here. I got you there. Sign him as guest one. And we will do a 2 up. There you go, Bill.
How's it going?
How you doing? So
all right.
Did you see Brian's live stream?
No, I'm not quite sure exactly.
Okay.
I only watch a couple.
All
But if it's
right.
interesting, I'd like to.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not aware of
should
it.
go look at the live stream that he just finished. All right. When you get done with my live stream, don't leave mine. But when you get done, I want you to go look at that and then tell me what you think about it. All right. You're
Oh,
going to be
okay.
very surprised. So what do you think about all of this that's going on with YouTubers?
Okay, as I said, I've been married a long time, and I've been in the country in and out for years. I just retired from Boeing this last year, but I've known the country since I was stationed here in the 80s. You know, and since the pandemic and the blogging and the YouTubing and the TikToking, um, a lot of people started realizing that they can make money off of this. And I think there's a fine line of, I said it before, of morality and needing or wanting to make money. And the people that came over for nefarious reasons, because everybody knows a lot of people doing some of these channels, they don't want to be informative. They want to do the young girls in bikinis. They want to do, the wild parties and all the things that they know is going to attract the average Joe in the U.S. or wherever, sitting on a couch, bored with his life, thinking, "Wow, I want to be that guy," you know. And they've honed in on that, but they've taken it to different levels now. The poverty porn, the which they're still doing, by the way. I ran across that crap yesterday. I seen it,
Oh
and
yeah.
you know, countries are getting tired of it now, and I don't blame the Philippines for getting getting the way that they are. I mean, Korea's had it, Japan's had enough of it, and it gives the average expat kind of a black eye because when I go in now, the guards always used to be really friendly and how you doing, and now there's a little, you could tell a little bit of suspicion. They look you over, they make sure you got a camera or your phone on you, and it, a lot of people watch media now, social media, and they know what's going on. They're not all ignorant the way we think they are. You know what I mean?
The problem is that there are a lot of ignorant people watching social media. That's the first one. There's even more ignorant people creating social media, it
Yeah,
seems.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so Ugly Tourist says, okay, we should not take zoomed pictures of the women on Walking Street. Should we repost others' content that do this? Should we share it 7 times on our live stream under the guise of being a good time? No, I think we should share it maybe 10 times, all right, instead of 7. I'm not sure where you're going with that, Ugly. Uh, the bottom line is it was inappropriate behavior, period. And
Yeah.
that inappropriate behavior, in my opinion, maybe in your opinion, it's okay to have that type of behavior. All right. And Will, what he's talking about was, and I think what he's talking about was on Brian's live stream. Brian got sent a link to a video clip of Scotty Boy fondling a girl on the street outside of Philly's bar in the middle of the day. And it was on his live stream. And he wanted to point out the hypocrisy of why people are doing what they're doing.
I gotta say something real quick. I'm a retired military. I was sailor. I was stationed in Subic Bay, Japan, and back in the '80s, this place was crazy. I mean, you could get away with stuff that, my God, you'd be in prison for the rest of your life if you got caught doing that stuff now. And I think there's a lot of older guys I've heard of that they want to reminisce about those days and they want to come back because they want to relive that kind of. It's not the way it is anymore. It's actually cleaned up as far as taking care of their citizens. Me and my wife before what this was, I think about 10 years ago. We went down to Suba because we were thinking about buying some land, and we had a coffee in the hotel in the morning, and these three guys come up to us, three older white guys, and they were nice. They were, they say, "Hey, how's it going?" And I say, "You military?" And I said, "I'm retired now." And he said, "Oh, okay. Well," he says, "We're looking for some action to have a good time. We flew over here and we wanted to reminisce about the old days, back in the old Subic days." And my wife's like rolling her eyes, like, "Okay." And I said, "No, that's gone now. There's some Australians that run a couple clubs in Subic, and that's it. The rest of them are just older retired guys living out their lives. Angeles was the place then
Yeah.
that was rocking." So, and you could just see the glimmer in her eyes just go away, like, "Oh, really?" It's like, yeah, it's not like the '80s, guys. It's changed now. You can't go out like a drunken sailor, literally, and you're going to get arrested. They're not going to put up with it. And I just think there's a lot of people that come over here, and they're looking for that kind of action, and it's no more. It's changed.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Ugly Tourist says he agrees it was inappropriate. It was ran at least 7 times. Obviously, was for clicks and views. Don't assume I condone with something because I disagree with the way it was posted. I thought he only ran it 4 times. Maybe I'm confused. Bookham Dano, Jerry. Oh, good old Jerry Springer. I'll tell you. Yeah, I think, Will, you need to take a look at, Bill, I'm sorry. You need to take a look at that live stream, as
Oh,
long as
okay, I'll
it's
have to.
up there. Okay. All right. I'm going to post the
What is
link
his name?
again. Huh?
Okay, yeah.
It's
I didn't know who he was.
Philly in the Philippines.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you.
Okay. And
Okay.
you just have a look at that live stream.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see here. Texas Unlimited. Mike, things are just out of control with some, in my humble opinion. With Vitali, which, by the way, has now been cleared for deportation, and this Estonian, I believe the genie's out of the bottle. Oh, I agree, Texas Unlimited. I totally agree. And I think that the Philippines is no longer. Look, the Philippines took a huge. The Philippines has never recovered from pre-pandemic tourism. Okay? Pre-pandemic tourism numbers are not back. And with that being said, they don't want any more bullshit out there. They don't want undesirable people. They don't want undesirable circumstances and situations. All right? They don't. So, with that being said, they have all the tools they need. There is a law against filming in public without a permit. There's a laws against making money in the Philippines. There are laws against all kinds of things. They just need to enforce them. And I believe they're going to. I believe they're going to sit there and do it.
Yeah, but Mike, how many of these violators, do you know percentage-wise how many of these violators are either tourists or actual residents?
No, I have no idea. I got no
I
idea.
bet it's a lot more
I think
a lot
before
more
you
tourists than
I think before you can answer that question, you have to say, if you live here for 3 years, are you really a tourist? A
well,
tourist visa is good for 3 years.
I guess it's gaming the system, but yeah, it's not really.
Yeah, it is gaming
Okay.
the system. It is. No, I don't disagree, but I'm just saying, at some point, the Philippines could maybe clearly make some define some things. I'm looking at like, okay, Leon and his walking street videos. I don't know what kind of visa he's on. I should not have even brought him up. I'm sorry. All right. But, John, the British expat, he's been vlogging for 10 years or 7 years. He's on a tourist visa. Paul Old Dog, up until 2 years ago, was on a tourist visa. He's 13A now. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
But they're not
uh,
doing like malicious videos or anything.
no, they don't. But there are people. I mean, I can go back and say that regular guy is on a tourist visa. Is his video are his videos malicious? No, I wouldn't call them malicious. Are they inappropriate? Yes, I would call them some of them inappropriate. When you're going to fondle a girl across, literally at noon, all right,
Yeah.
on at the busiest intersection of Angeles City, then that's kind of inappropriate.
Yeah.
All right. Expats, okay, sure, behavior was wrong. To post it was wrong, but let's say girl did have nice. Yeah, I have to admit, Prepper, she was anatomically looked pretty much perfect. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Ricky says it's always better to keep a low profile. Absolutely. Tim Desiak, 13 years ago, Walking Street was wild. It's dead now. Yeah, compared to what it was 13 years ago, it is. You know something? Vegas is dead compared to what it was 4 years ago. All right. I mean, we can make those comparisons all over the place. It's just like my favorite restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants. Okay. You used to have to make reservations 3 months in advance to get in. I can remember trying to get into the Golden Steer in Las Vegas. All right. We would have to make 12 years ago, we used to have to make reservations 3 months in advance if we wanted a decent sitting time. All right, say between 5:30 and 7:30. You can now get a seat there, pretty much walk in any night of the week. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still going to be a $400 meal for the two of you, but still, my point is that just like restaurants come and go, just like bars come and go, what's today's Studio 51 or 54, all right? Xanadu, all of those big nightclubs, none of them lasted more than 4 or 5 years. I'm surprised Walking Street's lasted as long as it has. Okay, I guess because the girls turn over, all right, and there's new participants on a routine basis there. It's extended its life, but other than that, I mean that goes everywhere. Tim, expat broker, Reaper, Mike. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't keep up with what's really happening, and as you know, everyone has an angle. But I trust what you say. So my question is, what's the truth? You know something, Reaper? The truth is hard to get out there. I'm just, to be honest, because even it's kind of like when you go to your lawyer, he can make whatever he wants happen within the realm of whatever his abilities and jiggling. Here's an example. All right. Years and years ago in Phoenix. Okay. This is the truth. I was, I had been down in Yuma. I'd been on duty for like 3 days. I was exhausted. I wanted to get home. I was on my way home. Okay. Up the highway and I get onto the I-10. So now I'm 20 minutes from the house. I'm like, oh, I want a cigarette, but I ain't going to stop. Okay? But I don't smoke in the car. But this time I'm gonna. So I smoke a cigarette. I'm flipping my ashes out the window, I'm not going to use the ashtray and anything. I get pulled over because a spark flies out. The cop writes me a ticket for littering. Okay. And it cost me 400. The ticket was like $150. But I ended up, he wrote it for unsafe driving. Unsafe driving is what he wrote it for. I'm sorry, not littering. Unsafe driving. All right. That I was theoretically throwing a cigarette butt out the window. And of course, nobody can find it. And I'm like, okay, to be really honest with you, I did throw it out, but I didn't tell him. All right. But yeah. So I get this thing for unsafe driving. And that is like a $200 fine versus this littering fine of like $150. So I go to my lawyer and I said, "What? Anything I can do here about this?" And he says, "Sure, give me $100." I give him $100. Like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later, whatever, I can't remember. I get a ticket in the mail for improper equipment, $25. Now, I don't know what improper equipment on the car was, but so, Reaper, it's hard to say what's true. What is true with respect to what question? That's the first thing I would have to ask. Oh, hold on. Reaper says, did this pro-life traveler person actually do something effed up, or is it just gossip? You know something pro-life? I can't give you that answer because I don't watch the guy. Now, the only thing we know for sure at this point is that he overstayed his visa, and he said he went to the office. They couldn't extend his visa on time. He ended up to go to another office. They were closed. I don't know. I got no idea. All I know is that's what he's on hold at Bikutan at immigration for. He's on hold for overstay. Now, are there other charges pending? They say they are. There's a couple of girls on TikTok that have been just laying waste to him, making all kinds of accusations, but I don't know. One of the things about me, Reapers, I'm just not going to lie and I'm not going to make shit up. And I'm only going to talk about stuff that I've been able to get my hands around. Chelsea, Vitali has already got one of these soldier boys to put out a statement on X that being in prison has made him only stronger. He'll be back with a vengeance. Yeah, I saw that post that he did on X. I saw that. So we'll see what happens, I guess. I don't know, Chelsea. You tell me. Bookham Dano. Most expats have tourist visa, not permanent residence. Bottom line, their tourist Thailand has changed that. Yeah, Thailand has really hurt them. Prepper, didn't you put out a video of young women that were, shall we say, pleasant to the eyes? Did you get a lot of views? Oh, I've done that. I've done that. I've put out, I've sat at Tequila Reef and videoed from Tequila Reef on private property while I had coffee and my breakfast. I've done that. Absolutely.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
It's okay. I don't know how to say it. People going around and just, with a camera and filming, it doesn't really bother me personally unless I'm out with my family. Okay.
Sure.
So we were out in the mall in Ayala a while back, and my daughter's sitting there, and my wife's getting some food, and there's this guy. He's I call him Gaijin because I've been to Japan for so long. A retired white guy. So he was an older guy, and he's just kind of arrogantly going around with a camera, and he's panning it, and it's like if he's filming that and it's my daughter's on there, I don't like that. You know what I mean?
No,
And
I
I don't
agree.
think you would like that if you were in the mall and someone's filming your daughter. You'd be like, dude, what are you doing? It's like,
No.
if you want to film somewhere else. Don't put my family into it. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting they're getting sensitive about it. I see it.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
look
was
at
in the
Leon.
I was in the grocery.
Leon's gotten his ass kicked out on Walking Street twice now for filming. The Koreans
Yeah.
jumped him, and then he had a Caucasian guy slap the crap out of him a couple weeks back. So I mean, I understand. I truly do.
You got to have a certain level of common sense, and I think there's a lot of people that have that sense of arrogancy, especially a lot of tourists, because I flew a lot back and forth, sometimes 3 times a year when I was working back and forth to Manila, and I see all sorts of tourists, young, older, and some of them even say, "I'll film what I want. I don't give a shit what they're going to do to me,"
Yeah.
And there's that arrogance. I can do what I want, and nobody's going to hold me accountable.
Right. They
And
tend to think
I
that,
think,
the law, they tend, and I will tell you, I fall into part of that category to a certain extent. Okay. I am an American, just like you. Okay. And there's a certain amount of individual freedoms that we take for granted that we tend to have to take a step back and recognize that's not the way it is here.
yeah,
All
that's
right.
true.
Um, but at the same time, if I was at the mall and I saw somebody filming my daughter, there would be some words exchanged.
It wasn't like on purpose, but he was panning it all around, and I know
Right.
we were caught in the shot. You know what I
I
mean? And
think people are
it's
getting
just
sick and tired of that. People are
it's
getting
unethical.
sick and tired of being or thinking or considering being in somebody else's video. People are tired of it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of a lot of new expats come over, and the first thing they want to do, they want to get a girl, they want to start a YouTube channel. They start through the same kind of thing that you see a lot of other people doing, and you can
Yeah.
see the excitement of what they want to do, and they don't realize that could put you in trouble down the road. You may not realize it or think about it, but you know, a lot of
Uh-oh.
Filipinos here, they're pretty friendly, but if they can be temperamental too. If you cross them the wrong way, they can be very
Hang on here. Why am I not getting Dano? Well, there he is. So I don't know what happened to my three person piece, but
Hey, Mike.
Dano. Hey, Dano, how you doing? I got you, Dano. I
Hey,
think
Dano.
maybe he's lagged a little bit.
There was
I
a
don't
little
know.
lagging on my end.
I don't know. We have you.
Hmm. I see him. I
Okay.
don't hear him. Oh,
All right. Well, let's see here. Friends of regular guy will defend his actions. It's to be expected. Yeah, Brian. Absolutely. Absolutely. But is it the kind of friend you want to be associated with? And that is true. That's absolutely true. So, do I want to be associated with a guy that's going to sit there drunk in public, grabbing a girl's hoo-haws, all right, and in public, in the busiest intersection where there's kids and everything? How do I want to be associated with him? Do I want to be considered his good buddy? I don't think so.
you ever heard the term guilt by association?
Yeah. So Reaper says, regular guy is a bit crass, but I don't think he was doing anything wrong. He's just a dude that likes women and isn't afraid of it. Yeah, no, he is a guy that's that likes women. Okay. But at the same time, I got Bob coming on here. I wonder why. Let me edit this here. Just guest number 2. There we go, Bob.
How you doing, Mike?
Good. How are you?
All right. Yeah, I seen Brian's video. It's pretty interesting.
It was something else. That's for sure.
I mean, I agree with him. I mean, I was stationed there in the '80s, and it was a whole different world. It's totally changed, and like I said, a lot of guys are going back and trying to relive their youth, and it's not the same place. So
And it's not the same place that it was, but nowhere is. I mean,
no, I mean there's still stuff there, but I mean, it just you like I said, if we'd had videos back in the '80s when I was there at Clark, we'd all been in jail.
well,
It's
I
just
mean,
plain and simple.
here's a perfect example. Bill, have you been to Thailand?
Yeah, we pulled in there Patio Beach several times.
Okay, and Bob, have you been to Thailand?
I've been to Pattaya, yeah.
All right, Pattaya. So you've been to
Pattaya.
Walking
Yep.
Street in Pattaya. All right. Have you ever been to the windmill?
Not, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that
I was there in the
I
80s.
recall. How's that?
I don't know if I doubt the windmill was there in the 80s. My point is that it is it makes Sodom and Gomorrah pretty much look like Mayberry RFD. Okay. I mean, I was, and it is still there. But will it be there in 10 years? Will it be there 10 years from now? Things change everywhere.
Yeah, you can go back to the '80s there in Angeles when they had the Nipa hut. That place was something else. I mean, it's probably what you're talking about, like the windmill.
I
It was shows and it was nuts. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's not happening again.
exactly. So Reaper says regular guy is a bit crass, but I don't think he's doing anything wrong. Reaper, how can you say that? Did you just see the live stream that Philly did showing what regular guy was doing? Let me ask you that, Reaper. And if you don't think there's something wrong with that, I mean, you don't think there's anything wrong with that? Maybe. I thought I was a pretty progressive guy, but obviously I'm not.
Well, she told him to stop a couple times.
Yeah, she did tell him to stop.
Yeah. Like I said, you pull that stuff in the States, you're going to jail.
Look, let me tell you something. I owned a topless bar in Phoenix during it was part of a land transaction. I owned it for, I don't remember now, 4 or 5 years, 6 years. Okay. If you had done that in my bar, and that was a topless bar, you would have woken up in the dumpster outside. All right. My security.
You can't touch a stripper in the States.
No. So the bars were crazy right off the base in Korea, Bobby says. Many wild shows and the hundreds of bars within 8 blocks. It was wild, but now they've been cleaned up by the U.S. DOD. You know what? I can't speak about Korea because I've never been other than through Incheon to layover.
It was wild in Osan and Kunsan and up in Daegu. Yeah, all the outside all the Air Force bases were crazy. And the Army bases right there too. So yeah.
Yeah.
So Ricky says
they were fun. They were fun times back then, but nowadays it would be considered unacceptable. So it's just the change.
Yeah, it's a different world the way it is. Yeah, changed times.
I don't. You know what? I wasn't there. I guess I missed something. What can I say?
You did.
You missed a lot. That was a whole different world where you're sitting at right now.
Yeah. Ricky, could you please take a step back for those of us that joined a bit later and are not in the Philippines yet? appears this has to do with vloggers that were showcasing the not so good. It has to do with a lot of it, Ricky, and it's kind of complicated. I would encourage you to go back and start this from the beginning. Watch it from the beginning, because if you're coming to the Philippines and you're planning on doing content, you may want to see that. Chelsea says, regular guy is going back to Canada because he has to tie out some loose ends, so he'll be leaving the country soon. But like he said, he'll be back. We'll see. You know what, Chelsea? We will see. I wouldn't be so proud of the fact that I was going from Vancouver. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been to Vancouver multiple times. It's a beautiful city in some places. But if regular guy is going to complain about the Philippines, I would have to go back and do some research. I literally went to a meeting, and I had the cab driver after the meeting. I had the taxi driver drop me off, and I was going to go walk a little bit after dinner, and I walked, and then I would catch another. And so I went to walk. I came to an intersection, a four-way intersection. On one corner is a methadone clinic. On another corner, it's a drug paraphernalia store. On the third corner, it's an adult bookstore. And on the fourth corner, it's a massage parlor. So I don't know, man. You can tell me how great it is everywhere else and the Philippines a piece of shit. Well, I'm going to tell you, that was Vancouver. And that's where Scotty lives. So, or Scotty's family does, and that's where he's from. Thailand, Dano says Thailand now has only approved 2 extensions once a year. No more long-time tourists. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how what takes place there. Rick says, were they making this stuff up and reporting inaccurate, or is that not the point? The Philippine government does not want any. No, I don't think the government's making anything up. I think the government is progressing at a very methodical way. I think that they are. I got to tell you, I think they're gonna lower the boom on pro-life. He's an immigration hold. He's been judged to be deported, and that means he stays in immigration hold until any and all court cases against him are dismissed. Whether he pays off the court case, whether it doesn't get charged, whatever. But that's the playbook of the Philippines now. First, they put you into immigration, find a reason to put you in there, find a reason to say you're going in deportation, because in the charges, both civil and criminal, they are bailable unless it's bodily harm.
Mike, that hasn't changed a whole lot, though. I said earlier in the comments, when I was there in '85, through the mid '80s, they would the U.S. servicemen would have their girlfriends put them on international hold so they couldn't be PCS'd out to go somewhere. So you stayed in the country until they dropped the charges. So you didn't have to go. You didn't have to get shipped to another assignment.
Yeah, but those guys didn't have to go stay in immigration hold at Bikitan.
No.
They were just
you
denied
stayed on base.
Yeah, they were
you stayed on base.
Leaving.
You did your job. That's it. You couldn't leave the country though. You
this
couldn't go
guy
like if you had if the military wanted to send you on a TDY, you couldn't go.
Right. So this guy's now in jail, and he will sit in jail until all charges are done. And how long does it take for you to go to court on charges? Exactly.
Spent a night in the Philippine jail in the 80s.
Chelsea says he did more than what was being shown. He was a horrible POS. Todd, how you doing, Todd? We haven't seen you in a while. I hope you guys are doing well. Philippines used to accommodate quantity over quantity when it came to visitors in the past. Now they're focusing on quality over quantity, especially since the numbers are down. Yeah, I do think so.
What's also kind of wild, all these people that are defending him. I mean, Brian said there's more to that video. You know, he said he was talking about short time and all that stuff out there in the open. So, I mean, that's not appropriate, you know?
uh, so
You know,
Expat
Brian
Crap
made a
says,
comment, there's more.
why you promote simpish Western worship girl behavior? Isn't that why you escaped the West in the first place? Who are you talking to, Expat Crap? The commissioner was said to declare Mr. Sim undesirable due to expired visa only for that reason. Yeah. Because of that, city council guy placing an investigation on him wasn't allowing to renew it. Yeah, I do not know. It's my understanding that when they picked him up, it was already expired. So I don't know. Hillbilly Pyro, what's up? Ugly Tourist, I wonder if they will charge pro-life making money off his tourist visa. Interesting. I don't know what they're going to have. I don't know that they have to. You know, again, James, his name, the Ugly Tourist, you know, the government, just like anything, has a bar where some things are a pain in the ass above and beyond. You know, if they can make this guy, if their intent, and I'm not saying that it is, but if their intent is to make him suffer for a while, they can pick lesser charges. All right. Delay. I mean, why couldn't they walk him? I mean, here's an example. Why couldn't they walk him in to immigration, look at his passport, expired visa, you're deported. Let's go. And take him and put him on a plane right then and there.
Yep.
Okay? No. There's a process of holding, and they can delay and slow. I mean, that's just, you know, in the United States, our legal system calls that slow walking. When they slow walk the charges and the trial. Okay? They do that. Philly says, what if it's a Filipino filming in the mall? It's a permit. Still required to be a permit. Well, no, the mall is private property. The mall's private property. So if SM allows you to film, you can film.
I think he was talking about.
Go ahead.
I was in the grocery store last week, and there was I didn't register to me when I was walking down the aisle. There was a young girl, and she was obviously filming. She had the camera walking down the main aisle, and the next thing I'm in the soda section, and I heard the WNMC saying in English, "There's no filming allowed in the store. Put your stuff away." And I was like, oh, that's weird. It's in English, you know. And then I thought, and then it registered that I seen that girl earlier. They're watching. They're watching on cameras and stuff.
Well,
you know.
So SM malls have signs that say there's no photography and no videography, but at the same time, they put up huge Christmas displays, Halloween displays, Valentine displays with selfie spots. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to understand all of it, but I do agree with you, Bill. It is, some of the stores do not allow you, absolutely. Like you can't go into SM Home and film in there.
Right.
I don't know what's going on, Dano. I had you there. So in the mall, Brian, that's private. It's not a public spot. Leon got slapped because he wouldn't take off a picture of a young lady that was filming as she was walking past. And when she asked him, I don't know, Chelsea, what happened. All right. All I know is he's had the Koreans whack him. He's had somebody else whack him. All right. He's made himself a pain in the ass. He's run like a crybaby to the police department every time you turn. I mean, they must keep an extra change of diapers up at the police department for him. Jack off, Garcia. The women that made accusations against Mr. Sip was all dismissed. Commissioner didn't find them credible or whatever reason. Lots of government resources for a year and for nothing. Well, first off, Mr. Garcia, how you know that they've been looking into him for a year is beyond me. That information I certainly can't find. All right. And they didn't announce that they'd been doing it. Okay. Number two, I don't know that anything was dismissed yet. All right. I got no idea. So tell us where you're getting that information, if you don't mind. PLT actually paid off the government. If you don't believe it, want to see us, he's promised to put a statement out. It's possible.
Hey, Mike, I got to duck out.
All right.
Good
Thanks
seeing
for
you.
dropping in. All right.
Take it easy, Bob.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's almost like any country. You get charged with something. You can buy your way out of it. Like you said, you paid your way out with that littering charge or whatever it was. I mean, the Philippines is famous for that. I mean, you could pay anybody. Give the cop a couple hundred pesos and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened here? Wait a minute. What did I do? First off, I did that. I'm sorry, Bob.
Oh, you're fine.
Hold on. I've got to assign you there to one. And then I got to do this. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. So anyways, AI. So Todd says AI is going to significantly reduce the number of people who will be complacent while being filmed. AI will easily transform them into videos. And you know what? Todd's right. Todd is absolutely correct. I mean, I can tell you, give me just a little bit of video of you. I can have a video that looks perfect of you walking on the moon. All right. I mean, AI is something else. Walking Street is the second largest red light district in the world. You can't be shocked when naughty things happen. I don't know if it's the second largest, but
I don't think anymore.
Certainly I've seen a lot of others, but the Philippine American couple, wow, thank you so much, and it's good to finally catch you as well. Thank you so much. Our Philippine journey, in Vietnam, if you take any pictures and or videos before you can leave Vietnam, you need to turn in all your videos to government. Well, yeah, I don't know, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Vietnam's a communist country, isn't it? I mean, you pretty much got to do whatever they want.
Probably want to check your videos to see what you did,
Yeah, they do not like going back before you leave Vietnam. Happened to me. Wow. Philippine American couple. If you are told to stop and you don't, then you're wrong. And you know what? I think that in 90% of applications, you're absolutely correct. And in certain instances, you are 100% correct. Bobby says he was at Osan. It is the intent of the YouTuber, not the women. Yeah, Dano's probably right. Exploitation is not on the woman or girl. Fact. Reaper, I didn't see Philly's recent live stream, so maybe I'm thinking of another time when he was outside Philly's sports bar, touched a girl, but I don't know. Maybe this is that, and that's what he was playing. They working girls, what's the big deal? It's nothing wrong with what Scotty did. Oh, expat crap, you're full of crap. You're right, you are full of crap. It is absolutely wrong to fondle a woman in public in the middle of the day and the busiest intersection in Angeles where there are tons of kids and innocent bystanders, all right, school kids, young kids, you know, is what Scott, if I do that in a private setting, that's one thing. But no, I can't agree with that at all. I'm sorry.
Nothing gives you permission to violate her.
Right.
Like I said, you know,
well, even if it's okay with her, even if it's okay with her, she did, you know, even if it's okay with her, you don't do it in public in the middle of the day around kids. That's just all there is to it.
You watch the video, she told him to stop at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Tim says he flies in and out of Vancouver. Funny. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. In private, and when I say, you know, in a private setting, but not on the street. In Dubai, at the moment with my son, Chelsea, this is where my son lives. If a regular guy was to do that, a woman over here, you know, he's going to be missing some hands. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, Chelsea, if they would do more than just hands. Scotty always seemed a bit strange to me, Ricky says. Mark King, you know, the city I grew up in California, this one elementary school right across the street was a XXX movie theater. This was in the 70s, talking about crazy. Yeah, things change. All right. What's in favor today is out of favor tomorrow. To the guy on the right, how can you say it's inappropriate to ask about short time when you're in the world's second largest red light district? That's, you know what? I don't think there's a time and a place for everything. I think that's the best way.
How do you know she's working in a bar? She's on the street. She's not in a establishment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she may be a freelancer, but that's not the place to do it.
You know, how do you know she works? How do you know she's a freelancer? Right. How do you know? We don't know any of that.
No.
Sunset Travel. Hey, how you doing? How's things down in Australia? Scotty Boy says that is why he stopped drinking. So it's alcohol. Oh, okay. So being drunk is makes it okay. Scotty is live now also. Oh. Ooh. And again, this was not a go after Scotty thing. You know, this video, this live stream was about, in general, the laws that are being broken by YouTube vloggers, and that how easy it's going to be if Philippines wants you and you're a vlogger, content creator, and you're monetized or not. They're going to get that they can get you. So Hector says, what if someone walks into the mayor's office and tells them about bar fines on Red Street? What do you think the reaction will be? Prosty is illegal in the Phils, but it's rarely enforced. Well, Hector, first off, the bars don't call it. The legal term is not bar fine. It's called early release. It's expats. Yes. You can remember back in the day. Bob remembers. It was not bar fine. It was early release. Yeah. All right. They got changed later by expats and service guys. They just wanted to make it, you know, something more specific. So now it's called bar fines. But technically, that does not exist. All right. It's not a bar fine. It's an early release, number one. And then number two.
And it doesn't mean that girl has to do anything with you either. You're just paying her to get out of the bar.
Exactly.
You know,
there's no guaranteed. All right.
Yep.
That's just like buying a box of chocolates. There's no guarantee that you're going to like what's in that box, or that box is going to whatever. I mean, you know, but secondly, what makes you think the mayor isn't aware of everything? You think the mayor, I mean, do you realize that the Lazatons, all right, the guys that are mayor here, and senators and whatever. They've been here and the Lazaton family has been literally in charge of the government in Angeles City for 5 generations.
Remember the name back from the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 generations. I mean, Mayor Pogge, who did two or three terms, I can't remember, all right, ran for senator to replace his brother, who was a senator, who ran for mayor. So they just switched. That's it, all right? And their father and their grandfather. So, Asia Now said they've been watching him for a year. It's on video. Well, you know what now? Okay, Dan, now let's be honest. Asia Now also used to go in the mall and ask girls about, do you use lube when you have butt sex? Okay? How does he know they've been watching him for a year? Yeah, they did put it out on public domain that it was a year they'd been following. You know what? Somebody's going to have to show me that. I can't believe that they were watching him for a year to allow him to do all this stuff for a year. Reaper, last I checked, prostitution is against the law in the Philippines, yet they don't do a darn thing about it. Come on, let's be honest. Okay. It's against the law everywhere. I mean, except for, look, Reaper, everywhere but 3 counties in Nevada, it's against the law. And yet it is rampant. Have you ever been to Figueroa Street in L.A.? Have you ever been to Kensington Park? Have you ever been to Old 42nd Street in New York? Prostitution is everywhere. It is the least of a lot of people's problems.
The oldest profession there is.
All right, and it is the oldest profession. Chelsea, there's a video already out there in AI with Vitality and PLT. Yeah, in a tuk-tuk. It's funny. That's funny, Chelsea. That is funny. Kids on Walking Street is the fault of the Filipino people and police. They shouldn't be allowed. Now, that's bullshit, Reaper. Walking Street, it's obvious you've never been here. That may be part of the problem, okay?
Yeah.
Walking Street is the most direct, well-lit, and safest method to get from MacArthur Avenue up to the Jeepney Terminal, up to the main terminal.
There, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, their only solution, the only way they can get there from MacArthur is to do a long way around, all the way back, take the side, dirty, nasty, dark, no street lights, side streets by Scorebirds, come up, go over. All right. It's an extra half hour, 45-minute walk. Or their other option is to go up the existing Field Street on the opposite side of Walking Street, which has no street lights, all right, and is not a real safe environment. On Walking Street, those kids, let me tell you, there's security guards everywhere up and down that street. Filipino security guards, they're not going to let anything happen to one of those kids, all right?
No.
They're no more likely to get snatched on Walking Street than they're likely to get snatched at the mall. That's about it.
There's been kids going up and down. Back in the day, it was Fields Avenue. They're like you said, it's the safest way for them to get where they're going,
and it's the most direct way.
Yeah.
All right. Uploading was the dumb moves to make. Yeah. Well, I mean, he wanted to make the money, Dave. I personally think pro-life was brought down by a troll. There's plenty of things he's done worse in the past. Someone knew the monkey comment would get him. Yeah, it is. Okay, Scotty is live right now. If you have questions for him about his actions, then now is the time to ask. There you go. Craig in Cebu, do you know where I go to with no Phoenix, Philippines expats? I don't know. Florida? I got no idea, Craig. I just don't know.
A
Not trying
province
to
probably
empty your
somewhere.
room. Yeah,
Go
thank you,
to a southern
Philly.
province.
No, it's fine, Philly. It's we're going on an hour, over an hour and a half. I did ask Scotty. Scotty blames the alcohol, Dave said. Okay, I'll go ask. I still don't understand why you're going after a regular guy. Thought you vloggers were all friends. Um, you know what? No.
Has
You
he
know,
ever been to the Philippines, really? I mean, has he
we're
ever been there?
acquaintances. We're acquaint other than um do you know the only vloggers that have ever been in my home don't even vlog anymore? CJ Abroad and Philo have been in my home. All right. And that was just
Philo's,
because they wanted to drop their helmets off to go to a meet and greet that was upstairs.
so
There,
Philo's not around anymore?
he's around. He's just, you know how Philo is. He'll post for 8 months and then disappear for
Disappear.
16. So, if a woman is on walking street strutting around, highly likely chance she's there because she's working it. But Reaper, that wasn't on walking street. Reaper, first off, that's not true. Okay. Walking street is not just kids, there's adults, students that get from one end from MacArthur up through. Number one. Number two, that issue of the video just now, that wasn't on Walking Street. That was
It's
on
not part of Walking
Fields
Street.
Avenue.
See, if a lot of people from the day, I mean, Fields Avenue went back in the day was all the
Yes.
way up to MacArthur. But,
Yes.
you know, now it's cut off there, actually right around the area where it used to turn back and go back towards like Murphy's and stuff like that. So,
Yep. I not understand what he has done wrong. The girl was clearly a bar girl on Red Street. No expat crap. She was on Fields
No.
Avenue. She was in front of Phillies. It was in broad daylight. There's kids all over that intersection. All right. And she told him to stop on multiple occasions. Philly in the Philippines. Bar for terminology started it in Korea. Okay. Phenomenal stream, guys. Thank you, underrated God. Thank you. Expat crap, friends, high clicks and views, not much loyalty. It's not so much friends. I mean, I define friends as something else. Are they acquaintances? Yes. Will I be very nice and cordial and everything else? Yes. Am I going to pay for the ugly tourist vasectomy? No. He's not my friend like that. Okay? I'm not going to. If the ugly tourist, this is a terrible thing to say. If somebody and their child was in serious medical shape, would I do the best I could to help them? You bet. You bet. But I don't know. I only have 4 friends. I'm an asshole. So, I just have the 4 friends and that's it.
keep your assholes close, right?
Yeah. They attack each other like knife to butter. Oh, come on. Expat crap. You attack everybody. All right. You attack everybody. You won't come on live. All right. You won't show your face. You won't identify who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. A troll's a troll. Okay. That's just all there is to it. The difference is that in the Philippines, they have actual brothels and women openly advertising. Prostitution exists everywhere. You would have to show me. All right, look, Reaper, I've been here. I have a 10-year history with the Philippines. I've never seen a brothel advertised. I've never seen it. Okay? Never. Never. And to say that the Philippine government is complicit, wow. And it's obvious you've never been here. That's
they
the
crack
problem.
down on bars a lot. They crack down on bars and close them down a lot.
Okay, so Bobby Gill says bar fine is a Korean term. Okay. Hillbilly Pyro. Even monkeys prostitute in the wild. Males bring the female fruit for access. Yeah, there you go. So, Reaper, to your point about Walking Street being the only street that's well lit, again, that is fault. Wait, don't be don't try and change the subject. All right? Don't be gaslighting here. Stick to it. It is the most direct path. You said children and women shouldn't be on it. Reaper. Don't be telling now it's the government's fault. Well, no, of course it is. All right. But that's not the point. The point is it exists. It is lit. It is full of security guards. Every 15, 20 feet, there's a bar with a security guy outside. All right. It is safe. Reaper, children should never see that kind of stuff, ever.
Look at
now
Halloween,
you're on your big
Halloween
moral high ground. Okay.
Yeah. You do the stuff with Halloween up there.
Yeah, and Ricky says it. Phillies isn't on Walking Street. The corner of Fields Ave and Raymond Streets, part of isn't part. Exactly. Ask a few questions, got no answers. Oh, come on, Chelsea. Maybe he didn't get to it yet. Cragen's coming back in March. Oh, okay. Good deal. I like to film as I ride around on my bike and shooting firework butts out. Hillbilly Pyro. Are you still, you made it through New Year's without losing any fingers or toes? Saying it's not technically Walking Street, it was Fields Avenue, isn't entirely honest because Philly Sports Bar is right there smack dab at the entrance. There are girly bars going up that entire. There are girly bars. There are restaurants. There are shopping stores. The police station, all right, Station 4 is 50 yards away.
It ain't that far away, yeah.
It's right across the street, for God's sakes. Yeah. All right? Ugly Tourist says, I don't want a vasectomy. There you go. You need to have a girl now. You've got a little boy. It's time to be working on that little girl, James. To me, if she's a working girl or not, you don't touch, can't afford. She actually said she hadn't had any breakfast. He said, oh, well, that's a shame. Yeah, he could have bought her breakfast, could have given her money. And look, everybody here knows my position on working girls. Or if they don't, let me explain it. Okay? If I had to feed my child or I had to buy medicine for my family, or there were, if it was a matter of life, I'd be laying on my back. Oh, I guess because I'm a guy, I'd be on all fours. All right. If that is what it took to make my child healthy and fed, and that was the only way I could, I'd do it. And I don't blame these girls one bit. And if you want to blame them, that's fine. I can understand. You can take that moral high ground. You don't know. I don't know. You know what? I boned 2 preachers' daughters, and I almost boned a preacher's wife. So I'm not on that moral high ground with you guys. All right?
Like you said, majority of them, 90%, I'd probably say, is probably they're taking care of their family. They wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
Yeah. If you want to have that moral high ground, all right, more power to you. That's your choice. Okay?
I mean, are you really proud of taking I'm trying to say what to say it, taking advantage of a girl that's in hard times, and that's what they are in the Philippines, You're taking advantage of them,
Uh-huh.
I don't care if they're out there or not. It still don't give you the right to do,
Yep. Prostitution in Angeles doesn't start and stop on one. No, it doesn't.
Nope.
That's just like saying prostitution in New York starts and stops on 42nd Street.
Runs all the way
Right.
down to Friendship Gate.
You know, it's all over. He was talking about all vloggers. Myself and Expat Crap are not trolling. I didn't even know the guy. We're just an honest discussion. Well, then, Reaper, then you need to get your shit straight. You need to understand that just because you don't like that brand of toilet paper, you can't use it to wipe your ass. Okay? You going to walk around with a dingleberry, or you going to use the toilet paper that you're supposed to use? Okay? Don't be that way, man. Don't. You can't say children shouldn't be allowed on that street. And, you know, there's no, I'm not even going to go into it. Chelsea,
Unless
Expat
you live
Crap
there, you don't
loves
understand
Philippine
what's going
ants.
on.
Yeah. Mike, it's almost 10 p.m. in Chicago. I'm going to go take a poop and go to sleep. Well, you know what then? Maybe you can ask Reaper for some of that toilet paper because he's okay with the dingleberry. Reaper, be careful to blame the Philippine government. They're watching the negative comments. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So Reaper says, Mike, be honest. All those girly bars are brothels. They all, first off, a brothel is a place people have sex. Okay. Not where you, all right. That
don't happen there.
Okay. So wait. That may not be true. Hold on. I was corrected. And I have to explain. So I got into an argument with a British expat in the Philippines, John. And he had said that I used to own a brothel. And I was like, kiss my ass, you lying piece of shit. I had a gentleman's club. And there's a big difference. Well, apparently in Australia, topless bars are called brothels, I was told. I didn't know. So, Reaper, first off, does prostitution exist? Sure it does. Do early releases exist? Sure they do. All right. Hold on. They all bar fine. Nobody would go there if they didn't. No, they don't all bar fine. Actually, next to Masquerade, what's it called? La Bamba. La Bamba doesn't allow bar fines. And there's another place that doesn't allow bar fines. People to Angeles have sex. Yeah, I generally do. Even at my old ugly age with my wife, I have sex. You know, it's one of the advantages of being married, or disadvantage, whatever you want. The girly bars have it. You're being disingenuous. No, it exists, Reaper. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Okay? But I've never seen anybody boom or anything like that in a bar. I've never seen that happen.
It don't happen now. But back in the day, you used to be able to get away with it, like the short time bars and stuff, but not today.
I've never seen it.
And Fields Avenue, even in the 80s, wasn't that way. You know, when you picked the girl up, you left and went somewhere else. You didn't do it there. You know, so it's not a brothel.
Yeah. Funnily enough, they'd rather come after me for being honest. Yeah, but that's just it. You're turning my live stream into something other than. Okay? You want to talk about Scotty feeling up a chick on the street, or you want to talk about prostitution in the Philippines? If you want to talk about prostitution in the Philippines, let's do this. Crank up a channel, put your ugly mug up there, and do a live stream. You know, put some butter on your bread. Man up, Reaper. Man up. Come on the live stream. Are you going to be a little wiener? Come on. The bread and butter of the entire area? No, it is not. In fact, the bars represent less than 5% of the income in Angeles City. Maybe you should come to Angeles City, Reaper. There's 500,000 people here. There might be, on the busiest night, there might be 900 Filipino women managing, waitressing, and entertaining on Red Street. And that's that's an exceptional night. Hold on.
And to say that's the only thing there, I mean, Clark's exploded since they shut down the military base.
Yeah.
You know,
watching women in skimpy clothing, groping men, which they do. And you've apparently never been to a Miami nightclub, have you? Apparently, you've never been to a LA nightclub. For God's sakes. All right? And skimpy clothing, which they do, and advertising to them in the streets is something children should never be around. I agree with the children shouldn't be around it, but I agree that the children should be safe. And if safe means taking a shortcut, all right, I've never seen a bar girl accost any children. I've never seen them interfere with them. Chelsea, Sunset Sisters is a good point. Buy the girls some breakfast. I do it all the time. Doesn't mean you have to sleep with them. Yeah. Reaper, they keep track of consistent comments that are targeting their culture. Roll the dice. Yeah. Oh, these guys, but Dano, these guys think they've got them. They say, oh, I'm going to be on a VPN. I'm incognito. This is my throwaway account. I'll throw this account away. Let me tell you right now, if you don't think that you can't be traced, if you think you're totally anonymous, you're wrong. People can find out. As for someone says any kids should not see that on Walking Street, you may be right, but I can tell you when a kid is 9 years old, they already know about sex by then. And that's true. When I was in the 7th and 8th grade, I was Playboys, and yeah. If you think a go-go bar is a brothel, you don't know what a brothel is. Go preach somewhere else. Yeah, you know what though, Ricky? I found out in the Australia knock-knock clubs and topless bars. Wait, Sunset's got something to say. Topless bars are not called brothels here in Australia anywhere. Oh, I thought somebody said they were from Australia and said they were. Whatever. Radar O'Reilly fell in love with a bar girl on MASH. I don't remember that one. Mike, I don't know who told you, but here in Australia, girly bars are called C. I don't know what a C is. David, I think your comment got cut off. John's toe rag. Great stream friend, comrade, acquaintance, nobody. There you go. By area, I mean walking street in the immediate area, not the anxiety. Yeah, the immediate area. Kids, nobody should be, we shouldn't. Children should have 3 nutritious full meals a day. Children should get an education. Children should, the list is long about what they should and shouldn't do.
You're in a developing nation. You're not in a, like the United States or England or something, Australia. You're in a developing nation. I mean, it's going to be a totally different story.
Reaper, believe it or not, Walking Street was Fields Avenue before it got that section. And Fields Avenue has been around since before Clark. Fields Avenue was before Clark was ever built. That was one of the 3 first roads in all of Angeles. Let's see here. There's plenty of private rooms up on Don Yuko in the clubs, and a few down by Phillies. Miko's, I've been asked to go back. Yeah, It happens. It does. Sometimes can't be helped. It depends on where these women live. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Condemning somebody for trying to stay alive or condemning them for trying to put food in their children's bellies or medicine and food in their parents' bellies. I'm never going to do that. I'm just
They
not.
they make more money doing what they're doing than their family dreams of making. I mean,
Yeah.
it's it's sad, but it's true, you know. And if they get lucky, they find them a boyfriend. You know, back in the day of the bases, they'd find them a boyfriend. Well, then you're taking care of the Philippine family at the time too.
Yeah.
So
You know, David, I can't remember. This was a couple live streams back, and this guy from Australia was saying, "Well, you know what? Topless bars are called brothels in Australia." Apparently, he's wrong. Thank you, David. Now I know. Patia Soy 6 can sometimes have kids walking with their parents. Oh, yeah. Walking Street in Pattaya has kids on it and tour groups. Literally, tour groups. You'll see Chinese tour groups, Japanese tour groups. They'll have a little stick with their flag so the group can, and they'll have little women and their kids. You know, Chelsea, please, let's not speak about children at the end of the day. Some of these children have no choice. Yeah. And Chelsea's right. You can't help but feel horrible. The person that told
when
you
you have
that was a Brit and had no idea. Ah, okay. Invite Scott up here now to get to his chat. Let's have Scotty on the panel. Oh, Scotty's not going to come on my panel. Trust me. All right. He will not. But why don't you invite him? Okay. Children put their hat. I mean, come on, expat crap. You guys, look, I don't have anything against trolls. I don't have anything against people who are controversial. I really and truly don't. But, that's just like in that video where Scotty's live stream, the members are telling him what to do and putting money up there for him to do it. I don't respond to that. Okay? I don't respond to my members trying to tell me what to do. Children put their hand out for money on Walking Street. Yeah, they do.
they've been doing it forever. They've been begging. They're taking care of themselves, trying to. Their family too. You know.
British John, aka Not So Normal John. He was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still here. Big difference here. Let's see here. Hector, all kinds of excuses for this type of behavior: being drunk, they're working girls, and no harm. Children should not be around the area. Phil's is dirty and corrupt. Everyone's to blame. Yeah, sure. Which part of which are you saying, Hector? Is that what he's saying in his live stream right now? Clark Field, yeah. When the military pulled out, they took a hit. Subic got hit a lot worse. Same thing happened in Korea. The bars outside some of the bases are totally destitute and shuttered. Yeah.
I don't think really around Subic there's not a whole lot down at Subic anymore at all.
No, there's not.
No.
Let's have people have their opinion about Scotty and Philly. Link. Okay, I'll put the link back up. Thank you for reminding me. Hector Gupta, exactly. Talk about Scott and Phil. Link. Mike, I'm not trolling. I'm making points from a genuine place. No, Reaper. First off, you've never even been to the Philippines. Link, there's the link. Come on, link up. I agree with you on 95% of the things you say, but 5% I do not. I'm just telling you right now, okay? My stance is very simple. If I want my child the safest route home, all right? And I'd be a prostitute if that's what it took to feed my child and to make sure that they were healthy. The pattern behind him is distracting. I don't think it's distracting. I don't know. It looks
Like so
fine to me.
when we were in the
Can
service
you
back then,
pull the
we used to
rug
buy.
down?
Yeah,
See,
we used to
that's
buy.
what I'm talking about. Expat crap, man. He just wants to start some shit. I feel
We
like
used
I'm
to buy kids
incriminating
stuff to eat.
myself, but what goes on in the massage places all the way up Fields Ave to my place makes the clubs look tame. I would think so. I've
Yeah,
never been in a massage place
yeah,
ever,
yeah. Mhm.
ever. Even the Philippines, the US, Thailand, never. I have a no, I don't like massages. John said gentlemen's clubs in Australia means brothel because his mother was Australian and that's how he knows. Okay. I don't know.
Something you might have to look into there, Mike.
I don't know. Son said, which are the best? Yeah, Expat Crap wants to know which ones are better. Which ones are better? But funny how expats try to change the Philippines. What happened? Didn't the link post? Hang on. There. I'm sorry. I thought I put up the link. So there's the link. If you want to cam up and tell us your opinion about Scotty, all right, approve, disapprove, whatever. If you want to tell us your opinion about vloggers getting out of hand, if you want to do any of that, any of what we talked about, I'm happy. Let's do it.
I mean, we're in their country. It's not your homeland. You got to follow the stuff that's there.
Well, yeah, you got to be. I don't know. I don't know. You know, um, maybe part of the problem is some of these broke as hell expats are trying to get their cheapest thrills possible. Maybe that's what it is.
I can see that.
Reaper does not understand the long Philippine culture. I'm not shaming the prostitutes. I understand why they do it. I was a poor girl from Leyte with no opportunities. Hey, I get the drive. I understand it, but I never shamed the women. Well, Reaper, I don't get what you're saying is wrong with them then. Why? I mean, if you're saying that children shouldn't see them, I think that's shaming them. Are they? Do they have leprosy or something like that? Is that I don't know. I don't get it. You're trying to trick me into further incriminating expat crap. Chelsea says, I suppose if you're on mushrooms, that pattern would be really quite tantalizing. I imagine. Reaper, Bookham, I understand it well enough. Poor girls without any opportunity to see women working on Red Street is the only way out. I don't shame them for it. Okay. Think back to before you met your wife. You know what these Filipinos are like. No, I didn't. I never dated any Filipinas. No. I didn't. David, I wore a pub in Western Australia. We had a designated closed bar area who had girls dressed and not much with a stage for dance. Some girls would show or flash for a few bucks. Okay, David, there you go. I just want to have your experience. Expat, you there now? Let me know. I'll hook you up with accommodations too. Expat wants cockroaches. I want the apartment Scotty had. Oh, that was in Manila though, wasn't it? Wasn't his
I think so.
cockroach apartment in Manila?
I believe so. I mean, if you get around in Manila, you can go. I mean, you want to see some dirt.
Well, you can get them here too.
Yeah.
There's no
Well,
doubt.
you get out. The thing is, you get out of the city. I mean, the Philippines is a whole different world. It's beautiful. I mean, everybody talking earlier about the trash and stuff. I mean, you don't see that trash. You get out of the cities. I
Yeah.
mean, people people are pretty proud of their country. You know, Filipinos in my 59 years, probably the most friendliest people I've ever met.
Expat Crap says, if you've not dated these girls, then how do you make such statements? Because I know a lot of them. A lot of them are our friends. That's how I make those statements. All right.
I give back the statement. I dated them, and yeah, they, no, it
And when
doesn't
it
matter that.
comes to other things, I mean, after my divorce in the United States, I swore I'd never get married again, and I didn't date anything but strippers for 2 years. So, do I know Filipino bar girls? Well, we know a ton of them. We've got a pool party next Monday. All right, day after. Oh no, tomorrow. Yeah, we got a pool party tomorrow. A buddy of ours is having. We've got a bunch of them coming over. All right, they're all friends. Okay. Did I date strippers? Yeah, in the U.S. I don't think you could call them the same as the girls here, but whatever. We also have pubs who still have topless hours put, but are kept quiet. Yeah, in the U.S., they're just regulated. That's all. They're licensed. X-Packer, I'm
Well,
still a virgin.
they got key clubs in the States, where you pay to get
Yeah,
into the back rooms and stuff.
yeah, I guess they do. I don't know. I've never been to
Yeah,
one. All
they
right.
do. I'm from around St. Louis, and like you get across the river over into like East St. Louis, OJ, Illinois, and stuff. They had them over there. So yeah,
Yeah. Tim
get your
D's, yeah,
swingers and
take
stuff back
care.
there.
Gotta go. Expat Crap now claims to be a virgin. It's different knowing them and dating them, though. Very different. I agree. All right, but what am I supposed to do? Tell you that Filipino peck peck has a different taste than American peck peck? What is it you want to know? I don't get it.
It don't go sideways,
How can you be a virgin in the Philippines? What happened? By choice, I assume. By saving myself for marriage. Oh, expat crap. Come on. You and
I mean,
Reaper. All right.
that
Oh,
was one of the first.
Catholic.
That was one of the first things when we used to come into the country. You go into one of the bars, the girls would call you Cherry Boy, because you're brand new to the Philippines.
Okay. All right, folks. I hate to do it, but I do need to get going here. We're running over 2 hours now. I thank everybody so much for participating. I wish Expat Crap, Street Freak, and Reaper would have jumped on the panel. I imagine Street Freak's over there um, uh, screen recording Scotty, but either way, all right. Take care. Everybody have a good day. Our next live will be next Wednesday. I'll try and get a video out between now and then. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, Mike.
Bye.